Lesson 4. Henry VIII. Henry VIII was crowned king in 1509 when he was just 17 years old. He had been a spoiled prince indulged by his grandmother and went on to be known as a party king. He spent lots of money on fancy clothes, entertainment, celebrations and feasts. Henry was known for loving his food and drink and grew to be very large. He loved sports and jousts, insisting on fighting in them himself. He was very vain. He wanted everyone to admire him and believe him to be clever and handsome. What Henry is most famous for is having 6 wives. He was desperate for a male heir and became more frustrated and impatient when he didn't get one. His first wife, Catherine of Aragon, had previously been married to his brother Prince Arthur. At first he said it didn't matter that she was his brother's ex, but after she failed to give him a son, he claimed that their marriage wasn't legal and they needed to divorce. Catherine refused, and after years of fighting, the Pope, who was the leader of the Catholic religion which England followed, also refused to grant the divorce. Henry got super angry, especially as he already had his second wife lined up called Anne Boleyn. He broke with Rome, which is known as the English Reformation. Henry told the Pope that the Catholic Church was no longer any power in England, and that he, Henry, was creating his own church called the Church of England, and he was making himself its supreme leader. The Pope said that Henry was a heretic and going to hell. This secretly terrified Henry until his death. Publicly, though, Henry pretended he didn't care. He banned Catholic religious practices, closed down the monasteries and nunneries, and stole their land, money and treasures. He also divorced Catherine and married Anne. The English Reformation was one of the biggest changes in English history. It impacted not just religion, but the politics of the country and the rules about what people could and couldn't do. It led to hundreds of years of fighting between people who followed the Catholic beliefs and those who followed the Protestant beliefs, with many being killed. Some of these fights are still going on today. Anne's marriage only lasted 3 years. They had one daughter, Elizabeth, but no sons. Henry claimed she had multiple affairs, which she denied, and he had her arrested and beheaded. He then married Jane Seymour and they had a son together called Edward, but she died 12 days later of complications from the birth. Next, he married a German princess, Anne of Cleves. He'd agreed to the marriage after seeing her portrait, but after the wedding decided she was ugly and stupid and quickly divorced her. His 5th wife was Catherine Howard. She was just 19 when he was already fat and grumpy. She sought comfort in boyfriends amongst Henry's court, but Henry found out. Enraged, he had her taken to the Tower and beheaded. It's said that her ghost still haunts the haunted gallery at Hampton Court Palace, where it runs screaming for Henry's forgiveness. Henry's final wife was Catherine Parr. She acted more as a nursemaid for Henry and tried to help him tame his temper. She survived the marriage as he died before her, but she lived for only 90 months longer than him, dying herself in childbirth. Henry died on January 28, 1547, at the age of 55, and was succeeded by his son Edward VI. His reign had lasted from 1509 until his death in 1547, making it a total of 37 years. For your Henry VIII activity, you're going to hold a debate. With your friends or family, hold a debate on whether Henry VIII was a hopeless romantic or heartless tyrant. What evidence can you provide to support your arguments? You want to split into 2 groups. One group will take reasons for why Henry was a hopeless romantic. The other will make reasons for why Henry was a heartless tyrant. Take it in turns to argue your points, and also listen to the opposite side and see if you can counteract their points. At the end, you can draw your own conclusion.